His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa chaired an extraordinary cabinet meeting held at Sakhir Palace in the presence of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa. His Majesty the King congratulated the people of Bahrain and the Arab and Islamic nations on the new Hijri year 1447, expressing hope that the year would bring security and prosperity to the Arab and Islamic worlds and continued progress and well-being to Bahrain and its citizens. His Majesty then welcomed the outcome of the meeting of His Royal Highness with the UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer, which resulted in the signing of a defence cooperation accord and the strategic investment and collaboration partnership with the UK, affirming the historical relations between Bahrain and the UK. His Majesty welcomed the UK's accession to the Comprehensive Security Integration and Prosperity Agreement following the invitation from Bahrain and the US. His Majesty the King praised the government's efforts led by His Royal Highness, which contributed to increasing the readiness of government agencies to manage civil emergencies and the support of His Royal Highness to all tracks of progress and development. His Majesty expressed thanks and appreciation to the BDF, the Ministry of Interior and Security and civilian agencies for their dedication in performing their national duty and their continuous efforts in maintaining security and stability. His Majesty also thanked citizens for their awareness and positive response and expressed pride in the unity and cohesion of Bahraini society, which is characterized by a responsible national awareness and keenness to preserve comprehensive development and national gains. His Majesty welcomed the results of the meeting of the representative of His Majesty the King for Humanitarian Work and Youth Affairs, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, with Russian President Vladimir Putin, and his participation in the main session of the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, as well as Bahrain's outstanding participation in the accompanying exhibition. His Majesty expressed thanks to Russia for inviting Bahrain as an official guest of honor and emphasized the development and strategic partnership between Bahrain and Russia. His Majesty the King expressed pride in the Bahrain national volleyball team winning the Asian Cup of Nations title for the first time in its history, praising the efforts made by the First Deputy Chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, Chairman of the General Sports Authority and President of the Bahrain Olympic Committee, His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa, in creating the ideal conditions for this participation. His Majesty also congratulated the Chairman and members of the Board of Directors of the Federation headed by Sheikh Ali bin Mohammed Al Khalifa, the players, technical and administrative staff, as well as fans. His Majesty affirmed Bahrain's full solidarity with Qatar, which is required by the ties of brotherhood, and confirms the stance of GCC countries in these sensitive circumstances. His Majesty also affirmed Bahrain's condemnation of the attack on Qatar by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard and considers it as a violation of the sovereignty and airspace of Qatar, international law and UN Charter. His Majesty praised the statement issued at the extraordinary meeting of the GCC Ministerial Council in Doha. His Majesty also welcomed the announcement by the US President on reaching a comprehensive ceasefire between Iran and Israel, stressing Bahrain's commitment to its firm approach in calling for peace and diplomacy to resolve crises. His Majesty affirmed Bahrain's full support for the rights of the Palestinian people to live in peace, freedom and dignity, and its support for a ceasefire in Gaza, the release of hostages and detainees, and expediting the provision of humanitarian aid and reconstruction to its people. His Majesty the King also welcomed the GCC leaders to the 46th session of the GCC Supreme Council to be held in December of this year in Bahrain, wishing the meeting success to enhance joint Gulf action due to its importance in light of regional developments and challenges. His Majesty directed the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and all relevant authorities to prepare for the meeting of the GCC Supreme Council to reflect Bahrain's constructive positions in supporting GCC unity and accelerating the implementation of projects that benefit Gulf citizens. His Majesty expressed pride in Bahrain's election as a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council for the 2026-2027 term, which reflects international confidence in the kingdom's moderate policy and its constructive role in maintaining global peace and security. His Majesty then directed the competent authorities to provide all the necessities for the success of the Ashura season, stressing that the Bahraini society has always been characterized by by openness, tolerance and unity, making the kingdom an oasis of stability, brotherhood, peace, development and achievement. For his part, His Royal Highness expressed gratitude and appreciation to His Majesty for praising national efforts, pointing out that this recognition is a source of pride for all national cadres and an incentive to achieve the visions and aspirations of His Majesty. His Royal Highness stressed the government's commitment to implement His Majesty's directives to fully prepare for the upcoming GCC Supreme Council meeting and provide the necessary elements to ensure the success of the Ashura season. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa received the cable of congratulations from His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, on the new Hijri year 1447. His Royal Highness wished His Majesty the King lasting good health and happiness and wished His Majesty and the Arab and Islamic nations many happy returns. His Majesty the King sent a reply cable of thanks to His Royal Highness in which His Majesty expressed appreciation and thanks to His Royal Highness, praying to Allah Almighty to protect His Royal Highness and grant him good health and happiness, and wished His Royal Highness and the Arab and Islamic nations many happy returns. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa exchanged cables of congratulations on the new Hijri year 1447 with Their Majesties, Excellencies and Highnesses, the leaders of Gulf, Arab and Islamic countries. His Majesty the King expressed his best wishes for good health and happiness, wishing them many happy returns. For their part, the leaders expressed their congratulations and best wishes to His Majesty on the occasion, praying to Allah Almighty to grant His Majesty good health, happiness and long life, and Bahrain and its people further progress and prosperity. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa sent a cable of congratulations to His Highness the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, on the anniversary of His Highness's accession to the throne. His Majesty expressed his sincerest congratulations and best wishes to His Highness for abundant health and happiness, and to the people of Qatar for achieving further progress and prosperity under His Highness's leadership. His Majesty the King also praised the strong fraternal bonds between Bahrain and Qatar, affirming His Majesty's commitment to continue developing and enhancing these relations within the framework of the bilateral partnership. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa issued a directive for the annual Hijri year in which the Royal Court will begin distributing the annual donation through the Sunni and Ja'fari Waqf directorates to charitable societies and matams or community centers, as is customary at the beginning of every new Hijri year. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, sent a cable of congratulations to His Highness the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, on the anniversary of His Highness's accession to the throne. His Royal Highness sent two similar cables to His Highness the Deputy Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Abdullah bin Hamad Al Thani, and the Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Qatar, Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman bin Jassim Al Thani. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa chaired the meeting at Rifa Palace to review the latest developments in the kingdom's afforestation plan and the Bahrain Mangroves Initiative. His Highness affirmed the importance of environmental conservation, of safeguarding natural resources, strengthening the kingdom's resilience to climate change, and advancing sustainable development goals. These efforts align with the vision of His Majesty the King and the directives of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister. His Highness also was briefed on the implementation on the status of this year's projects under the initiative and the afforestation plan. His Highness emphasized the need for coordinated teamwork across all projects to achieve impactful environmental outcomes. His Highness commended the dedication of all stakeholders involved in the afforestation plan and the Bahrain Mangroves Initiative. His Highness highlighted the significance of continued collaboration to establish a long-term sustainable environmental strategy for future generations. His Highness also stressed the role of community engagement as a cornerstone of environmental success, encouraging both individuals and institutions to adopt sustainable practices, raise environmental awareness across the kingdom, and support national efforts to preserve Bahrain's natural ecosystems. A number of senior officials attended the meeting. In line with the Ministry of Interior's commitment to strengthening community partnership and constructive engagement with all segments of society, the Minister of Interior, General Sheikh Rashid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, attended the annual meeting with the heads and officials of the Matams or community centers. The meeting was also attended by the Minister of Justice, Islamic Affairs and Waqf, the Deputy Minister of Interior, the Chief of Public Security and governors as part of the cooperation and coordination regarding the organization of Ashura. On the occasion, the Minister of Interior delivered a speech.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبيه الكريم سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. الحضور الكريم، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. وبعد، فإنه يسعدني أن أرحب بكم جميعا وأتوجه لكم بالشكر على تلبية الدعوة لحضور هذا اللقاء السنوي. ويشرفني بداية أن أنقل لكم تحيات سيدي حضرة صاحب الجلالة الملك حمد بن عيسى آل خليفة ملك البلاد المعظم حفظه الله ورعاه، حافظ وحدتنا الوطنية ورمز قيم التسامح والكرامة الإنسانية. كما أنقل لكم في هذه المناسبة تحيات صاحب السمو الملكي الأمير سلمان بن حمد آل خليفة ولي العهد رئيس مجلس الوزراء حفظه الله. وأود أيضا أن أعرب عن شكري وتقديري لسعادة وزير العدل والشؤون الإسلامية والأوقاف على الجهود والدعم والمتابعة، وسعادة رئيس الأوقاف الجعفرية أيضا على جهودهم التنظيمية والاهتمام بكل ما يسهم في إنجاح موسم عاشوراء. الحضور الكريم، نلتقي اليوم في ظل أوضاع إقليمية غير عادية تحمل انعكاسات أمنية تستوجب الحذر، ونحمد الله تعالى أن الأمور تتجه نحو الاستقرار من خلال المفاوضات. وعلى كل حال فهذا الأمر يدعو للتذكير بأهمية الوعي الوطني ومساهمة الجميع في تحمل مسؤولية المحافظة على الالتزام والانضباط والنظام العام. وإن هذا الموقف الجدي يدعونا إلى المزيد من التماسك وعدم ترك أي مجال لمن يحاول العبث بوحدتنا الوطنية، ممن عرفوا في وسائل التواصل الاجتماعي بأصوات التهزيم من خلال دعواتهم المكشوفة لخلط الأوراق واستغلال مشاعر الناس خلال موسم عاشوراء. وإني أراهن على إخلاصكم وانتمائكم وثقافتكم الوطنية بعدم الالتفات لمثل تلك المساعي التحريضية، فهي لا تخدم الروح الوطنية البحرينية التي تجمعنا اليوم في هذا المكان. وأن البحرين ليست وطن الغالب والمغلوب، بل وطن العيش المشترك والمجتمع الواحد في ظل القيادة الإنسانية الحكيمة لسيدي جلالة الملك المعظم حفظه الله ورعاه. وإننا نملك قواسم مشتركة يصعب تجاهلها، وهي الشعور بالانتماء والاعتزاز بالهوية البحرينية والإيمان بوحدة المصير. الحضور الكريم، اسمحوا لي أن أذكركم بأننا قد تمكنا من إحياء موسم عاشوراء وتنظيمه خلال فترة حرجة سابقة أثناء جائحة كورونا، وكان نجاحنا في حينها واضح بسبب اهتمام الجميع وتعاونهم. كما كانت مراسم عاشوراء العام الماضي مميزة من حيث التنظيم والالتزام، وأجدها فرصة طيبة لأعرب عن خالص شكري وتقديري لرؤساء المآتم والقائمين عليها والرواديد لما لمسناه من تعاون وانضباط ساهم في هذا النجاح، الأمر الذي يعكس مدى الوعي المجتمعي والمسؤولية الوطنية من قبل الجميع. فليكن عاشوراء هذا العام موسما وفرصة يظهر فيها المعزون صدق الالتزام وعمق المسؤولية، وهذا يتطلب منا مزيدا من التعاون والتنسيق واليقظة والالتزام للمحافظة على أمن المناسب. وإنكم أيها الأخوة وبسبب الظروف الإقليمية الدقيقة أمام مسؤولية أكبر هذا العام لضبط فعالياتها، ولن نترك مجالا لمن يسعى للخروج على النظام والقانون، وسوف نحقق ذلك معا بإذن الله. ولن تكون عاشوراء مناسبة لنشر الفوضى ومخالفة النظام، بل لتكون مناسبة لحسن التنظيم والالتزام. وهناك أمر أود الإشارة إليه في نهاية كلمتي، وهو أن المآتم في البحرين موجودة منذ مئات السنين حتى قبل وجودها في إيران، وسوف تبقى تحت مسؤولية العوائل التي توارثتها وحافظت عليها عبر هذه السنين. وفي الوقت ذاته فإنها تلقى الاهتمام اللازم في إطار التسامح والتآخي بين المواطنين والمقيمين، ولكن من المهم التركيز على جوهر المناسب، وألا يسمح بتحويل مواكب العزاء إلى مسيرات سياسية. وأنتم أول من يحافظ ويحرص على انضباط وتنظيم هذه المناسبة الحسينية، ولكونكم تريدونها آمنة فنحن معكم، وإن كان هناك من يريدها مخالفة فلسنا معه، بل سيجدنا معا أمامه. الحضور الكريم، إننا جميعا ننعم بهذا الانسجام الوطني الأصيل في ظل الرعاية الملكية الكريمة من لدن سيدي حضرة صاحب الجلالة الملك حمد بن عيسى آل خليفة ملك البلاد المعظم حفظه الله ورعاه. والله نسأل أن يحفظ حامي وحدتنا الوطنية وأن يديم علينا الأمن والاستقرار. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
The annual meeting also included a speech delivered by Dr. Hassan Al-Arayed on behalf of the heads and officials of Matams. He expressed appreciation and gratitude to His Majesty the King and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, praising the Minister of Interior's keenness to patronize this annual meeting. He said that Ashura deserves to be commemorated in an atmosphere away from any external influences and war not to be drawn behind any calls or practices that may take the occasion out of its spiritual framework. Following the meeting, the heads and officials of the Matams praised the support of His Majesty and the government headed by His Royal Highness, appreciating the role of the relevant official authorities in providing all necessary services to ensure the success of the Ashura season in a way that preserves social cohesion and stability and maintains the spirit of cooperation and brotherhood among society members. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdulatif bin Rashid al-Zayani, participated in the 49th extraordinary meeting of the GCC Ministerial Council to discuss the Iranian missile attacks targeting Qatar. The Council issued a statement strongly condemning the Iranian missile attacks on a military base in Qatar. It described it as a clear, unacceptable and dangerous violation by Iran of Qatar's sovereignty and airspace, the principles of good neighborliness, international law and the UN Charter, regardless of any justification. The Council expressed full solidarity with Qatar and complete support for any measures it takes to preserve its security and stability. It also commended the capabilities of the Qatari armed forces in effectively responding to the attack, emphasizing that Qatar's security and stability are essential to all GCC states and that any threat to one member is a direct threat to all. The Council underscored its rejection of any infringement on Qatar's sovereignty or any threat to its security and stability. It welcomed US President Donald Trump's announcement of a ceasefire, stressing the need for an immediate halt to all military actions. The Council also commended Oman's role in US-Iranian nuclear negotiations and appreciated the efforts of Qatar, the US and other countries in de-escalation, highlighting the importance of continued mediation. They praised Qatar's mediation efforts to secure a ceasefire and regional stability and urged all parties to seize this opportunity for de-escalation and to pursue diplomacy to resolve disputes. The Council also commended President Trump's success in achieving a ceasefire between Iran and Israel and called on him to work towards a permanent ceasefire in Gaza. It emphasized the importance of securing regional airspace and waterways as well as countering threats to security and stability. His Highness the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, received GCC foreign ministers on the sidelines of the 49th extraordinary meeting of the GCC Ministerial Council. His Highness thanked the GCC leaders for their solidarity and supportive stances towards Qatar and their strong condemnation of the Iranian attack on Al Udeid Air Base, which constitutes a violation of Qatar's sovereignty and airspace, as well as of international law and the UN Charter. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdulatif bin Rashid al-Zayani, conveyed the greetings of His Majesty the King and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister to His Highness and their wishes for the ongoing security, stability and prosperity of Qatar. Dr. al-Zayani underscored Bahrain's full solidarity with Qatar and condemnation of the attack targeting Qatar's sovereignty by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. His Highness conveyed his greetings to His Majesty and His Royal Highness and highlighted the deep-rooted ties between the two countries in all, highly appreciating Bahrain's solidarity and supportive stance towards Qatar, which demonstrates the strong bonds between the two countries. The Minister of Information, Dr. Ramzan bin Abdullah Noaimi, yesterday attended the first edition of Roots Summit, the New Gen AI Summit. The event, organized by UAE-based Crest Nax, brings together key figures from Bahrain and the UAE to discuss AI's expanding role in major sectors. Speaking at the conference, Dr. Noaimi emphasized the urgent need for the world to capitalize on rapid technological advancements, especially AI, as a powerful driver of sustainable development, innovation, and inclusive prosperity. The Minister pointed out that Bahrain, in accordance with the royal vision of His Majesty the King and the directives of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, pays great attention to harnessing and adopting modern technologies. He added that Bahrain achieved its advanced ranks in many global indicators in terms of supporting and expanding the pace of digital transformation in line with the rapid growth in this field. He also stressed the need for continued collaboration to balance seizing opportunities with addressing potential challenges. Dr. Noaimi toured the summit exhibition and attended sessions on AI's impact in education, healthcare, media and security, praising the quality of research and insights for deepening understanding of AI's potential. Crest Nax's decision to launch the summit in Bahrain reflects the kingdom's regional leadership in digital innovation and its commitment to creating a fertile environment for technological advancement. 2 Gulf airplanes arrived this morning from Turkmenistan carrying 360 citizens on board who were facilitated to return from Iran in accordance with the directives of His Majesty the King, with the follow-up and attention of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister. Upon their arrival at Bahrain International Airport, a delegation from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Interior, Ministry of Health and Bahrain Airport Services Company welcomed them, where they were provided with the necessary facilities and health checks. Bahrain's embassies in Kuwait and Iraq also followed up on the return of the citizens via buses through the El Abdali border crossing between Kuwait and Iraq and the Shalamja border crossing between Iran and Iraq, where 275 citizens arrived in the kingdom by land as part of the efforts made by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to provide buses that transported them from Mashhad in Iran to Bahrain. The total number of citizens whose return from abroad has been facilitated so far reached 2,383, who were transported through 7 aircrafts and 37 buses. Bahrain is a regional model in emergency management with advanced infrastructure and proactive planning, ensuring swift and effective responses. More in this report.
The Kingdom of Bahrain's infrastructure reflects an advanced strategic vision that enhances national readiness and the sustainability of community security through integrated planning and effective crisis management. In the face of growing challenges, Bahrain continues to establish a durable development model, with infrastructure as a key pillar for institutional readiness and the sustained operation of key services. This system relies on modern road networks, advanced medical facilities, efficient communications, and well-equipped service centers, all enabling rapid and organized emergency responses while maintaining uninterrupted services. Integrated with a smart digital system providing real-time data, this infrastructure supports decision-makers and coordination among key sectors such as civil defense, healthcare, security, and media. These ongoing efforts demonstrate Bahrain's commitment to a culture of early preparedness and community security, supported by a flexible institutional framework capable of meeting diverse challenges with the highest levels of readiness.
The Information and E-Government Authority has extended the submission deadline for the 13th E-Government Excellence Award till Thursday, 3rd of July 2025, in response to the requests from the interested participants.